guys, this is Pastor Carlos Hughes with another episode of Kingdom Concepts. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Hey guys, this is Pastor Carlos Hughes. In this episode, we're going to talk about being bitter or getting better. We all understand that in this life, there are times where people will hurt us, whether intentionally or by accident. And we have a choice of what we're going to do with those situations. Either we're going to be bitter at them and hate them and hold a grudge and have these thoughts against them and try to get revenge on them. Or we're going to ask God and say, God, what is the lesson I need to learn out of this? The Bible tells us in Matthew 5:44 that we ought to love our enemies. Well, that is something that doesn't come natural to any of us. And I've learned that when I look at the commandments of God, there are two purposes, if you will. One, the commandments of God tells us the mind of God and what God would want our behavior to be like. And two, it's also to help us with characteristics and behaviors that are not natural to us. It is not natural to love your enemy. So that means that if I'm going to love my enemy, I'm going to need God's help to love my enemy. It's not natural not to want revenge. So then I'm going to have to ask God to help me not to get revenge or hold a grudge over the person that's done me wrong. And so we must understand that God doesn't want us to hold bitterness in our heart. All of us have been hurt. If you live this life at any amount of time, someone has done you wrong. You have done someone wrong. But that's why Jesus says to us that we should forgive our debtors, even as God has forgiven us. And so forgiveness is the solution to bitterness. To me, bitterness is like the spiritual cancer. And I really believe, and you can hold me to this, that a lot of people that have cancer really get that as a manifestation of bitterness that they've held for many, many years. I've come from a culture where people hold on to things for a long period of time. People have died and gone on to be with the Lord, and they're still mad at what they did to them at 15 and 20 and 25. It made them bitter. It didn't make them better. But God wants us to be better. And so his commandments also tells us he knows the effects that these characteristics will have to us. If we're bitter, what is that going to do? It's going to eat at us. It's going to cause us to change our relationships and how we relate to people. Some of us have built self-inflicted walls. We say we're not going to allow people to get close to us. We're not going to allow anyone to hurt us again. Well, how does that work? How does that help us? That doesn't. Not as a Christian. We got to be close to people. We're called to love people. So if we're bitter, then we don't have forgiveness in our heart, and it eats at the host. And so as the natural cancer eats at the person that has the cancerous cells, so does bitterness. So my advice to us today, when we are hurt and we've been frustrated by someone or something, we ought to ask God, God, help me to forgive so that I can be a better person and I can be a better Christian. Remember, like, subscribe, and share and comment below. God bless.